Hi guys, it's Debbie from healingfrombpd.org, and today I'm here with a quick video about the importance of validation when you are an emotionally sensitive person, or if you're suffering from borderline personality disorder or otherwise have difficulty regulating your emotions. As a person who is in recovery from BPD, I no longer meet the criteria. Part of what's really important, I believe, in recovery, in my personal experience, and also what I've heard from others who are in recovery or who are starting to do well, starting to get better, starting to feel better, starting to be receptive to therapy and having it work, is the importance of having people who validate your experience in your life. Now, when my life coach Teresa Lynne was in San Francisco, we took these funny pictures after we got our parking tickets validated, so I'll show you those really quickly. But the kind of validation that we're referring to in this situation is someone who acknowledges how you feel and what you're going through, and accepts that that's your experience without trying to belittle it, demean you, make less of it than it is, or ask you to deny your feelings. For example, it can be really difficult for someone on the outside who sees you in a suffering episode due to the BPD to cope with it. So in order to adjust and feel okay with that, they may say different things to try to stop you from having your experience, which is totally normal because that's their discomfort and their pain and their hurt in reaction to witnessing yours. So just keeping that in mind with a little bit of compassion. But it's not easy for someone who is emotionally sensitive to hear things like, you're overreacting, you're making too much of this, you're such a drama queen. Other comments I've heard are, you're making too much of this, or don't say that, or you've been through this before, how come you can't handle it yet? Why are you doing this again? These things are just not helpful. When someone is in the midst of an emotional crisis, be it really severe anxiety or feeling emotionally dysregulated and overwhelmed, the last thing that's going to help is to hear about how they shouldn't feel this way. It's like telling someone who's depressed to snap out of it, or someone who's anxious to calm down. It just doesn't work that way. There's a process. And a lot of people who are suffering from emotional dysregulation issues as adults didn't receive the type of validation that children normally crave and need during development. So as adults, they're trying to adjust in a world where most people, or a lot of people, have already received that and they haven't. So they're trying to adjust and find skills and build skills and learn skills. For me, it was through DBT. And it doesn't help to hear these things. So if you have a loved one who is invalidating your experience, I would recommend having them read a few articles out there. Teresa Lynne at essencehappens.com has a bunch of great ones. I've written some over at healingfrombpd.org. NAMI, N-A-M-I, looking for information on supporting those who have emotional regulation disorders while taking care of yourself is some type of resource that I would offer the person who may be really invalidating. One thing that I've started saying with people that are in my life that are close to me is, when I have the once in a while emotional dysregulation episode, which of course still happens, I still am a very emotionally sensitive person, I'll say just that. I'll go, I'm sorry, I'm just really emotionally sensitive. And I'm not apologizing for who I am, but I am apologizing to help them understand that I realize that it may be a little blown up, it may be a little out of context, it may be a little bit more severe of a reaction that they would have or that they would expect another person to have, but that is my experience. And if someone is going to say to me, you shouldn't feel this way, or you should know better by now, or stop saying that you're emotionally sensitive, that doesn't work for me. And I'm just, responding with something like, well, I am an emotionally sensitive person. I'm sorry that you're unable to accept that, but I am, and I hope that someday you can too. And then I go and practice my skills, particularly dialectical behavior therapy skills around self-soothing or distracting, or practicing my non-judgment, generating lots of self-compassion, whether I go and do a meditation, whatever I need to do, go for a walk to work out the nervous energy, or if I get upset at the comments that were made. But validation is a really important part of our experience. So I'm trying to make choices to surround myself with people who are more kind and more validating. And it's not that I need constantly for people to say, oh, good job, Debbie, you're doing a great job. Oh, you're fine, you're okay, Debbie, you're all right. I need to know those things for myself from within my own heart. But what I mean to say is that I'd rather be around people who are more encouraging and upbeat and feeling hopeful about life in general than around people who are being very pessimistic and maybe getting aggravated at the fact that I'm a sensitive person, because I am who I am. You are who you are. You deserve to be around people who love you for who you are, who understand that there are multiple facets to who you are, who understand that you, just like them, are a culmination of all of your experiences and things that you've been through in your life up until now, that you're not choosing to be an extremely emotionally sensitive person. It's just part of your makeup and who you are at this time in your life, possibly forever, and including myself, who knows, and that that's okay. And that we don't have to change, and we cannot really just change overnight anyway. We're doing the best that we can. You're doing the best that you can. Keep seeking out skills, and just be really aware and careful about the company that you keep. There's a really funny quote that says, before you go diagnosing yourself with depression or some other type of psychiatric disorder, make sure that you're not in fact surrounded by... I don't think I can finish that. I'm sure you guys have seen the quote, or you can Google it. So be careful of the company that you keep. Keep your chin up. Keep practicing your skills. Know that you're doing the best you can. Know how important the validation experience is. Seek that from people who are able to give it, and also learn to generate it for yourself as much as possible. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video or over at the blog. Bye for now.